Down by 2, now they're out of timeouts.
Down by 2, 1.3 left. Down 2, gets a shot off.
Down by 2.
Dinah. It's another episode of the Down by 2 podcast, brought to you by our good old pals at Crier Media. Visit crier.co for all things DB2 and related sports-related content, and by our pals over at Indestructible. Visit Indestructible online and use promo code Down by 2 for 15% off your next order. And then, of course, our boys over at Yup Beer. Haven't had a couple of these in a while. Clink, clink, clink. Visit yupbeer.com to find a location near you. Now available in beer stores across on Terrible. How's it going, Birdman? Good to see ya. Been a minute. How you been?
Good. What's up, boy?
Hey, buddy. Just pulled off one of the more insane weekends of my life. That was
rock star.
I've never just kind of on a whim decided to just drive 12 hours to the States and then back. But it was pretty nuts. You know, I just got my full G license, and Amanda has been slowly letting me drive to different destinations. So I basically just went from London to Hamilton, then London to Mississauga, and then London to fucking Charlotte, North Carolina. So things escalated pretty quickly. And before you ask, no, I did not do all of the driving. I don't even think I did.
I was going to ask, did you do at least some of it, though?
I did at least some of them.
Yeah.
It's 12 hours there, 12 hours back. We'd switch over in Ohio with my boy Josh McDonald. Shout out Josh. It was a crazy weekend.
He came through big time.
Came through
for the Birdman.
Big time. Yeah, for sure.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, it was nuts. So we missed you down there, bro. How insane was Travis Scott?
Oh, it was the best, dude. We had like a private box, and man, we were just like literally moshing in a box with like our own bartender. It was so funny, man.
Was your bartender Ted from my wedding? Because he knows how to fucking throw down too.
No, it wasn't. It was some innocent woman looking to get home safely, and we got her wasted as well. So
sick. How many in the suite, in the booth?
There was like 20 people in there.
So by playing by those numbers, that's not that bad. I mean, like if you got 20 of you, that definitely brings the cost down for a ticket.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It was dude, it was an incredible experience, and it was really hard to pick between the two, but I knew you had the trip covered. So
yeah, man. It's maybe for our next Christmas party, we'll go watch Travis Scott somewhere. But man, yeah, just shout out to the Carolina Panthers organization for giving Crier Media the our first media credential with the NFL. It was an incredible experience. Just even, the last place team in the league, that's fine. Like, we are all about the Panthers now. We are, we're part of the pride, if you will.
That's our team now.
Yeah, it's our team, the Carolina Panthers. And you know what? There's only it's a great time to buy low on them. There's only one way to go, and that's up with them.
Yeah, for sure.
Unless they only win one game next year, that would be obviously headed in the wrong direction. There's a lot of stuff that's got to change with that organization, but we're there to see the whole progression. It's just funny talking to to Panther fans. They're like, because they would automatically know that Josh and I were not from around there, and they're just like, where are you from? He's like, Toronto.
Why are you here?
Why are you here? I'm like, oh, we're covering your trash ass football team, and they're just like, yeah, why? It's like, well, because I mean, for them, it's just like they are so upset with the Carolina Panthers and the organization and David Tepper and just the shit show that it is. But they don't understand that, like, that is like insane for us Canadians, where it's just like, comparatively speaking to CFL, it doesn't even hold a candle. So it's just it's I mean, high school football down there is bigger than the CFL. So
yeah, it is. Weren't you showing them some pictures of like some of our our CFL stuff, and they were just
Yeah.
like, "What is that?
Like,
what the
why
fuck
are
is
the uprights in the front of the end zone? Like, I don't
Yeah.
understand. Like, they're like zooming in. Like, is the ball bigger? I'm like, yeah, it's. We don't know why. And there's only 3 downs. They were losing their mind. They're just like, what kind of goofy ass shit is this? And then it turns out that the Canadians actually invented CFL or invented football. So it's it's just really funny how that all kind of works. But yeah, incredible experience. Can't wait to do it again in 2024. So look out for more Carolina Panthers coverage. But for the time being, they came obviously nowhere close to the playoffs. We are here to cover the Super Wildcard Weekend heading into this weekend. I am fucking pumped. Bird, I know that you appreciate football as well.
Oh, dude, I'm into it.
Is
I'm
there any
watching.
marquee matchups that you're really looking for here? One that you're really pumped to be able to sit down with a
Honestly,
beer or
your
two.
Rams. I think I feel like that's the matchup everyone's gonna be watching, other than the Chiefs game. But I'm looking forward to that one.
You know what? It's just there's a lot of we're gonna get into all of it. We're covering them all from the Saturday games, the Sunday games, and the one Monday game that we have as well. There's a lot to cover, and we decided what better crew to do it than with the Groom Squad, bringing back a couple of the football aficionados that we always have on the show as well. Kicking off the first of which, this man just loves football in general. He is a fan of football. You ask him his favorite team, he says football. Ladies and gentlemen, this is Jesse Joosten. Jesse, my man, Joosten. How you doing, buddy? Good to see ya.
Oh, just glad to be watching football. And how'd you know it was my favorite team?
Yeah, football. The NFL is your favorite team.
Always my favorite team.
Man,
I love the bell.
Buddy, we're gonna we got a lot of football ahead of us this weekend, and I can't wait to just put on my comfiest sweatpants and sit in your basement and watch just nonstop football with some breaks with blitz. We gotta have a couple blitz breaks, but
halftime blitz. Yeah, we got to do that.
Blitz. Yeah,
but I'm excited about this weekend. I can't wait to ignore my family, at least for another couple weeks on Sundays and Saturday night. So it's gonna be great.
Absolutely. Oh, buddy, I cannot wait. And second of which, he's a regular on the pod, doing a lot of work with us as well. Really just helping us out when it comes to filling in on the road with us as well, doing some live reporting. And I am especially excited for those of you who follow the show and listen. I'm a big old Rams fan, but I've lately been trying to restore the roar with this guy. And I think it's safe to say that the roar has been restored. But now I come to a crossroads where we really have to pick our battles here and choose. Am I going to be? Yeah. You're restoring the roar too, there, Jesse, for tour. But this guy's an OG Detroit Lions fan. He's been through it all, and after decades, they are back into the playoffs. And it couldn't have been a better written story when it comes to these two franchise and quarterbacks. But ladies and gentlemen, we got Master Aldworth, Bradley Aldworth on the show as well. Brad, how you doing, my man?
How's it going? I'm
Yes,
not representing the team. I got a little OG Randy Moss.
Yeah, dude. Fucking I appreciate those threads.
But hey, pinch me. This season with the Lions is a big win already. I think the bandwagon wheels got to fall off for old Joshy here, and we got to revert back to the Rams.
I don't have any bandwagon wheels. Okay, I don't.
Okay.
Because look, no,
we appreciate the roaring.
I appreciate. I have a good roar. But when it comes to I started following the Rams started following the Lions immediately after that trade because Goff is my boy. He's my boy. Hey, be honest. Were you excited to get Jared Goff? Because I'm just like, man, he is not a bad quarterback. Everyone's saying that the Lions ended up getting fleeced on the quarterback trade. I'm just like, man, he is a decent quarterback. Obviously got off to a rough start, but things turned around year 2, and now look at where you are.
Listen, if we're really getting right into it, I was very excited.
That's what the show's about.
Very excited to see Stafford go and win a Super Bowl the year he got traded. The guy gave us a lot of good years, so there's no hard feelings there until this weekend, in which case, all bets are off. I'm a Jared Goff stan. And here we go for this, he's the best quarterback I've ever seen. Yeah. Really, just got to ride a positive wave into the weekend. It's gonna be an interesting week. Lions, Rams, and all the other games. Really looking forward to digging into it all with you guys. So,
let's giddy up, buddy. This gets me fucking fired up. We are gonna do things a bit differently on this show. DB2 bets is gonna be basically the entire show, but we're not gonna actually place a bet either way. We're just gonna throw these out there because pre-show we were trying to figure out what our allegiance lies with when it comes to all the different matchups. But it's just too hard to actually pick, especially with the panel that we have. So I think we're just going to leave this up to some healthy debate on each and every one of these games. Something else that I've also wanted to include is the over-unders with this as well. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I feel for the majority of the season, the unders have done really well for me. I've always, you know what? It sucks. It sucks that to root for less points. But I mean, I just want the payout, right? So
a lot of them have been set kind of high too, no? So
yeah, and just
sense.
like there's just been some low scoring games, and I think the NFL in general is kind of headed in that direction where it's just not as high scoring. You're not getting many games that are over 30 points per team, unless of course you're the Seattle Seahawks and Detroit Lions. So
yeah,
so I mean, there's
year
just been,
in, year out. You bet
it seems to be.
Matchup.
It seems to be the thing. I mean, like it hit again this year. So
yeah.
So I got the over and unders that are also posted for this as well. I broke down. I was able to figure out some of the unders, and I figured out that the between these 12 teams that are facing off this weekend, 52% of the time the under hits. Topping all of that is the Kansas City Chiefs. They hit the under 70.6% of the time, compared to the lowest amount of unders, which is the Detroit Lions, which their under hits 35.3% of the time. So
can't imagine
we'll be able
why. So consistent defensively and offensively. Yeah.
I mean, dude, it's pretty crazy. I mean, I feel like the Detroit always hits on the over, and especially we're going to be taking into account, where they're playing, what the weather conditions are, and then we'll be breaking down what the percentages are for each team when it comes to hitting the under or the over in that sense. So let's kick things right off with the very first matchup of the weekend, and we're going down over to Houston. Houston Texans get the home field advantage against the Browns. The Browns are favored by a point, so this is basically a pick 'em. And the over under is set at 44.5. I just got to say, when I was in North Carolina, there was a lot of Colts fans. I guess Indiana's pretty close. There are a lot of Colts fans in and around the neighborhood as well, and they were all out at the bar watching that game. That blown 4th and 1 or 4th and 2 pass, just like it made me feel so good to see all these Colts just have their season fall to pieces within that last play, because they're a trash can of an organization. And you know what? The Houston Texans have been basically that too. But this year, man, I also found out that, now that the Houston Texans are a thing, and, you got Texans fans that are popping up out of nowhere, they call themselves the Stroud Boys, which is...
Ew.
Oh,
like that.
yeah. Not
They're
even
all
want to call
Stroud
yourself.
Boys. And I'm like, oh, man, that is...
That's risky business right
Bit of
there.
a Texas style thing.
That's so Texas, so that. Oh,
That's
man.
very your Texas is showing.
Yeah, your Texans are showing for sure. Oh man, tiki torches everywhere. Yeah. So I mean, the Browns are also a questionable organization as well, because you traded for Deshaun Watson. So, by the way, you can't look at this slate of games when it comes to the Super Wildcard Weekend and tell me that the NFL is not fucking scripted. I mean, they wrote this script at the beginning of the season thinking that Deshaun Watson was going back into Houston to go face his former team. So, I mean, obviously, because he's injured, it's the emergence of Joe Flacco. They had to pull an audible, and he might win Comeback Player of the Year if it's not DeMar Hamlin. But I mean, the guy literally just came back from the dead, so they're probably going to give it to him. But yeah, We kind of digress a little bit with that. We got the Browns and we got the Texans. What are we thinking here, boys? Jesse, I know you got an opinion on this.
Yeah, so I'm going with the Browns. I'm going with Uncle Joe Flacco. He's been there, he's won that, and his connection with Amari Cooper, that's not a fluke. So I'm all for Stroud. Don't get me wrong, I've been on the Stroud train pretty much since week 5, I think.
Mm-hmm.
But he's just so inexperienced, and Flacco's got the vet in him. And when it comes down to it, another reason why I'm choosing the Browns is if you got to take up straight up the defense from the Texans or the Browns, I'm taking the Browns all day. So I'm going with the Browns on this one.
Well, I respectfully decline. I think I'm gonna have to go with the Texans on this. Look, Joe Flacco, he's great, but they signed him off the couch for a reason. He didn't have a job in the
pickleball court. Okay.
Yeah.
Right? He's still working hard.
Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Pickleball.
Keeping
Keeping active.
Keeping himself sharp out there.
He had some pretty easy matchups though too. Like, it's not like he really had to overcome a whole lot. Sure, he's been playing well, but like at the same time, like Stroud is him. Sure, he doesn't have Tank Dell to be able to throw to, but I mean, he's got Dalton Schultz. He's gonna have Nico Collins. And Texas's defense is pretty good too. So I definitely think that this is really a pick 'em, but I'm kind of leaning more towards the Texans. Joe Flacco, look, he's going to turn the ball over a couple times at least. You're looking at his interceptions over here. It's minus 160 to throw an interception. So that's definitely a prop that I'm going to throw in there as well. I don't know. Which way are you guys leaning?
I think that the Browns have some injuries heading into this week. I think that that's really what's keeping the spread so tight. Mm-hmm. For a pick 'em, I'm like, fuck, I don't have a dog in this fight. Honestly, like to see Joe Flacco come back, like you said, off the couch and win some playoff games would be something to watch. But I think that if you look back to the December matchup, you see the Browns taking it against a hurt Texans then, and now you flip the script. I really don't know what to expect. I expect I think there's Vegas knows, and I think there's a reason why this game is labeled as close as it is. I would like to see the Browns win, but I think the Texans defense has gotten them to where they are at the beginning of the season, and in the preseason, the Texans were hurt. They were a hurting unit going into the season, and they've really been able to recoup what I thought was going to be a complete dumpster fire.
Another Houston Texans season.
Exactly. When they went out there and they got the defensive line that they dreamed of, one of the best D lines in the league, and they've been able to get healthy through the year. The Browns are riding some serious injuries into. I don't know what's going to happen here, but I think the Browns will edge them out. That's what I think.
So you're going Browns. Okay.
I'm going
two
Browns.
Browns.
Yeah.
You got two Browns, got a Texans, Birdman.
But it's like,
are you going to Browntown?
It's just right there.
I'm in the same boat with you there, Brad.
My original pick was the Texans, to be honest, just for the defense.
All right.
Yeah. There's for the defense, like you mentioned, and I don't know. You were kind of swaying me there, Jesse, a little bit, but I think I'm just gonna stick with my original pick. I'm going with the Texans. This seems like such a toss-up. So
it is a toss-up.
It is a
toss-up. Like, you're not going to take them on. You're not going to take the spread. You're going to look at the money line. See which way the public kind of sways
trust the gut.
Trust the gut.
Yeah.
Now go with the Browns. Go with the
for half of these to this week.
See, that's the problem. You swayed me with like 30 seconds there, and it's just like, no, I can't be doing that.
Yeah, I'm sticking Texans too, man. I'm sticking Texans. The over/under. So Cleveland hits the under 35.3% of the time this season, while as the Houston Texans go for 64.7% of the time. So I'm definitely I'm leaning more towards the under at 44.5, especially just because the Browns are always known as that defensive team, and they were not really known for their offense. So therefore, the lines always set really low with them. That's what I'm thinking. So when they do beat out that 35-point over under, it's only by a little bit, and so they have been hitting the over at a larger clip than they have been hitting the under. But I'm thinking at 44.5, I'm feeling under. I don't know about you guys. This is going to be CJ Stroud's first time in the playoff, in a playoff situation. It's going to be an electric atmosphere. It's going to be a bit of nerves as well. Joe Flacco hasn't played in the playoff game in years, decades even. So, yeah. So, I mean, I definitely expect some interceptions, expect some good defense, expect the under. Who's with me?
I'll be with you on the under there.
Yeah. I'll join you
Yeah,
on the
yeah,
under.
yeah.
I think that the story for both of these teams is realistically is their defense is, and then you look at Stroud, and like you said, I mean, in this electric atmosphere, a young star quarterback, I feel like he could go off, or it could just be, it could be more of what we expect, what Vegas obviously expects, setting it at 44.5. You gotta trust the bookmakers, and I think we're looking at an under here.
I'm thinking maybe like a 21-18 type game,
Something
like that,
All
either
21,
for the
14.
Browns or for the Texans. So we'll leave it at that then. And honestly, who really gives a fuck about this game? On our way over,
playing Baltimore.
What was that?
Whoever wins this is playing Baltimore. Anyways,
they're getting
right?
smoked.
Yeah.
Moving along to Arrowhead. Now, just another fucking well-scripted game by the NFL. So bravo, guys. I honestly think that commercial with Keegan-Michael Key is just to play into the fact that they do, in fact,
100%
all this shit. And they'll just come out and be like, what if we just say that we write it? Then people will be like, oh, they actually don't.
They wouldn't say that they wrote it if they wrote it.
Exactly. But yeah, this game here going into Kansas City, Chiefs are at -4.5 against the Dolphins. Some horrible weather to be expected in Kansas City. They are playing in it's something like 11. I think it's 11 degrees Fahrenheit or something like that. It's gonna be cold. It's not gonna be fun for these teams. And Miami against like in subpar weather conditions. I think they've done something like under Mike McDaniel, like 3-14 or something like that, or some. I think it's since now in 2017 they've gone 3-14 in bad weather conditions. So the other part of this is Kansas City Chiefs have fucking sucked against the spread this year.
Just terrible.
So this is a real tough one. I don't know. Does anybody want to take the lead on this? For me, I'm kind of swaying towards the Chiefs, even though I don't like it.
Yeah, I think that the Chiefs will win this game. That weather being a big factor in that, I think that there's just, again, I think that it's a difficult one to pick because of the star caliber on both sides of the ball. You're really trying to pick who's going to go off. I mean, this could be a Tyreek Hill, like snowstorm fucking bonanza. You never expect it, but it could happen. I think that
because he's used to playing in the cold weather. He's used to playing at Arrowhead.
He's immune. Yeah.
I don't, again, this is another one where I'm leaning towards Kansas City. I think that it's hard to look at the past couple seasons and not think that this is the moment that Mahomes and the boys really fucking turn the key and start playing football like they know they can. It's going to be an interesting one to watch. But Miami has some injuries. Miami has some injuries holding them back, and I think that Casey's going to edge them out on this one.
I also heard something like Tua is like 0-5 in bad weather condition games so far. So I don't know. That's not looking too good either, playing into the weather factor.
No, it isn't. And but do they have enough to cover +4.5? That's the thing.
Oh, we're talking spread. Yeah, I don't know.
Hard one. Yeah, okay. All right. Well, I'm gonna play devil's advocate here just because I can.
Yeah.
And mainly, I'm speaking from my heart. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
That's where this is coming from, and
Sure.
maybe the Bucks. I kind of want to hit that 4.5, but
Yeah.
it's gonna be a tight one. Chiefs, yeah, they haven't played like they have in the past couple of years. They're not clicking. Their offense isn't clicking at all.
I mean, they are the reigning Super Bowl champs, so
Yes.
I mean,
Not this year. It doesn't
This
look
year.
like they've played like what they were in the past. So
yeah.
it's Isaiah Pacheco is the shining light on that offense, I think, right now, and everyone else is just kind of. Kelsey's been a disappointment. Mahomes.
Yeah, you're just bitter because you drafted him in the first round, but that's neither here nor there.
True. That's very true.
He's just bitter because Taylor chose Kelsey. Oh no, Taylor also chose you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
I got
Wild.
the Taylors mixed up when I said I do. But it's okay. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. I didn't know that the weather was gonna be this shit, so you're kind of scaring me a little there. But you know what? Let's go for the money there.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. It's all gut. I'm not feeling good about it,
Mhm.
but that's where I'm leading right now. So
Yeah. Bird, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the Chiefs are gonna win, but I don't the spread. Like, I have no clue, man.
Yeah,
It's such a hard one to predict.
it really is. I mean,
Like the weather factor is just throws a complete curveball into things.
I could see it being like a 16-10 game, and
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like,
we're gonna have to go with the under. I think we're gonna
yeah, maybe
stick
that's
with
probably the
that.
best. I feel like
Well,
plays are gonna get broken up. It's gonna be sloppy. Like, it's just gonna. They're not gonna score too much.
the Chiefs have hit the under 70% of the time this year, whereas Miami has hit the under 47% of the time this year. So pretty close, to almost half with the Dolphins, where the Chiefs, they've been hitting the under like crazy. Everyone always expects them to go explode. But I honestly think we're going to go with the under on this one too. I'm going to take the Chiefs. I'm going to see if I can tease it to like 4, just to give myself that extra half point. I'm going to go with the Chiefs, though. The Dolphins, they have not been looking good as of late, and obviously they've needed Tyreek. And Tyreek can keep himself open, that's fine, but can Tua find him? That's the problem. He's
Right.
playing with a bad shoulder. I just don't buy the Dolphins right now. So we're gonna have to take the Chiefs, even though they've screwed me multiple times this year on the spread. Big game, though. Big game. Moving right along,
Big game.
we're going to the Steelers and Bills. Bills being the hottest team in the NFL. And the over-under is set at 35.5. Jesse, you fucking, you tell me what bullshit are you drumming up this time?
Wait, which Jesse?
You.
I'm just
Joosten.
going straight Bills. I'm doing it.
You're going Bills. I thought you were going Steelers.
No, not this
Steelers
time.
would be a
no,
very
no.
Jesse Joosten pick right now. Just saying.
Yeah, I'm not going wild card every single fucking time here. Okay, and the first one I took the favorite, so I don't
Yeah.
know what you guys are talking about here.
You know what? This
true.
is the one that I wanted to see. I wanted to hear your pick on.
Yeah.
I just got to go Bills. Like they've won the last 4 games. They've crushed the last 4 games. Well, and I don't know. They're just clicking on all cylinders. Steelers, they don't have their main star that's going to be pressuring Josh Allen, and like
Was
that's
Watt
going to
out?
be a huge Watt's out.
Watt's
So that's
out.
going to be a huge factor in the game, I think. I think it's going to be. I'm going to take the over on this one. By the way,
That's
I think they're just going to throw the ball. Yeah, it's going to be a good matchup, but I think Bills are going to crush.
So I will go with the Bills too, because I was thinking that Watt was gonna. I didn't realize he was out. So the Pittsburgh Steelers, they're just happy to be there. I don't know how they ended up with another winning
Yeah.
record. Tomlin just seems to somehow spin his bullshit and
Yeah.
get them either in the playoffs or with a winning record.
Well, Rudolph came in with a Christmas miracle. you know?
Yeah.
That's what happened.
It's crazy. I mean, with that being said, I'll go Bills. That's -10. I maybe tease it down to -9.5, just so you don't get caught at that 10 for a push. So but I will go with the under on this. And that's always been the rule of thumb that we have preached on this show. 70% of the time when the spread is over 9 points, the over hit or the under hits 70% of the time. Not only that, the Bills have hit the under 64.7% of the time this year, and so has the Pittsburgh Steelers hitting the under 64.7% of the time. So 35.5, that looks greasy, but I'm going to go under on this. If they're going to blow them out, they're going to blow them out 20-7, 21-7, something like that. I mean, maybe they only get up a couple field goals. I mean, I don't trust their offense. Freiermuth, Pickens, they're hot and cold. I mean, this is just not. I mean, they're going to be going into an outrageous Bills atmosphere. I don't give the Steelers much of a chance to this, even to cover the spread. So, I mean, especially like that's what I was expecting is maybe a couple more, maybe some defensive plays to intercept Josh Allen, which his interceptions. Let's take a look here. Oh, they don't even have them available because they don't know if they want to do over 2 or more. So it's oh no, wait, there they are. Yeah, so the interception is to throw an interception is pretty much even money actually, which is surprising. So I'm going to take the over on an interception at some point, but I'm still thinking Bills are going to take this. I got to go with the under. I don't know about you, Brad.
I think you guys have pretty much touched base on everything. I think that the Bills are playing the football we expected them to play most of this season that we didn't see through the first 10 games. They've hit their stride against, like you said, a Steelers that should be just wagging their tail, happy to be there, looking for with TJ Watt out, I honestly think that's the only thing. The pass rush is really the saving grace of the Steelers, and I think with Watt off the line, you're not really threatening Josh Allen in a moment where this is the one thing that I don't know about the over-under. The Bills having had the season that they've had, I don't think that they're leaving a lot on the table this game. I think they're trying to set a tone. I think they're themselves trying to hit a playoff stride, scoring points, playing in a Bills atmosphere that's going to only project them further. It being set as low as 35.5 for me is like a 27-10 game beats this, beats your over-under, and that's not a crazy score. I like the Bills, and I like the over is what I like in this game.
I think you gotta hammer the under. I just looked up there's gonna be record winds 40 miles an hour, and that's gonna be tough to connect passes. It's gonna affect
meteorologist over here.
Hey man, I'm looking it up, bro.
I just broke out
Josh's coattails again. Come on,
buddy. I mean,
that's what I should have been for my career. Okay, because it's the one thing you can just be wrong at, and it doesn't matter.
So true, and sports betting, but that's fine. So you're
but that's
that matter. That's my money.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Oh man,
the Bills should crush though.
They should crush. Here's the thing: their offense hasn't been all that great though. Like they've been winning games, but their offense has been kind of suspect. Their defense has been phenomenal. So just don't expect the Steelers to score much at all. Like, I don't think they'll score more than 10 points. And if the Bills can score 21, 24, we're looking okay. Maybe tease that over under to 36. I don't know. That's where I stand. They're not going to like the Steelers don't stand a chance in Buffalo with that crowd. It's going to be if it's as windy as it's supposed to be. Yeah, I don't know. Josh Allen, expect a few scrambles. They're going to eat a lot of the clock, though. They'll manage the game the way they have been. So
the clock management will be big for the Steelers as well. If they get any, that's where clock management. I think that the under could be the move, because if the Steelers do get a lead in this game, they're going to try and eat clock. They're going to try and run the ball. And it's going to be, a grind for first downs, and you're going to see a lot of time coming off the clock in each quarter. Interesting one. A lot of interesting games this week.
But there's no chance that the Steelers are going to cover the spread, is there?
I don't think there's a chance the Steelers are. Well, I don't know. Yeah,
With
the
10,
spread also like you bet the under, and the spread is set over 9.5.
Yeah.
Like, there's a lot of options for you on the under for them to cover that spread. Like,
Yeah, I don't know. It's
maybe
tough.
a Hail Mary at the end, maybe, but I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
like
some garbage time points. Oof, that's
Yeah.
why the
It's
spread
too
really scares
spooky.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is too
Scary.
spooky. Whew! Gives me the heebie-jeebies. But we'll stick with the Bills then. We'll stick with the Bills for now. Moving right along. Joosten. Take that one away. We got the Green Bay Packers against the Dallas Cowboys. You're a closeted Cowboys fan, so I know you got a whole big take on this here.
No,
McCarthy,
no.
though, McCarthy now facing his former team that he won a Super Bowl with. That's another insane storyline as well. Trying to win it in his home turf. I think this one might be the easiest one out of all of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Packers on it. No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm going Cowboys with the spread.
You bust out your cheese head and you're just all of a
Yeah,
sudden Packers fan? Yeah.
I've been a secret undercover cheesehead for this whole time, just swapping. No, I'm going Cowboys. The stats don't lie here. They're 16-0 like in the last 16 home games, and with the spread, they've hit 12 out of 16 of those games.
Yeah.
So that's 75% of the time they're hitting their spread at home. They're looking hot right now. CD's unstoppable. He's a top elite wide receiver this year for sure. He's really shown why he got drafted so high. Pollard's running the ball really well too. Yeah, he fumbled quite a bit at the beginning, but he's looking pretty good. And Green Bay, you know what? They had a nice run too. You got
Jordan Love is the quarterback of their future, and that's great to see him have a good season.
You really do. He's done really good. They should be happy with as far as they made it, and I think it's the end of the line for them. So
yeah,
but
definitely.
we're going Cowboys with the
I
spread.
like the Cowboys on this. Yeah, -7. I mean, that's a pretty decent spread, but I like them to take that. Packers are usually good for about 21 points. Cowboys are usually good for what? 50, 60. So I'm thinking maybe the over on this one too.
At home for sure.
Yeah. I'm definitely thinking the over. Dallas hits the under 47% of the time, and Green Bay hits the under 41% of the time. So let's go with the over on this, set at 50.5. That's a pretty attainable number, and I think the Cowboys are going to put up probably somewhere in the 30s. Packers will put up something in the 20s. It'll be something like a 33-21 game, something along those lines. There'll be a lot of I mean, their defense has also been crazy too, so maybe that might be it's like they absolutely shut down the Packers. But LaFleur is too good of a coach to get blown out like that. I think he's done an incredible job with this squad. So yeah, let's go with the over on it. Cowboys on the spread as well. Bird, you okay with that?
Yeah, I was gonna say that Cowboys are kind of like the juggernauts this year, so it's pretty
They're
hard
one of the
to
teams
bet
to beat.
against them. Yeah, exactly. So
Yeah,
I mean,
they got Super
aren't
Bowl
they,
aspirations.
aren't they one of the teams that disappoint the most too? So if you wanna go like completely off the rails with it, could go the other way. They remind me of the Leafs, man. It's just like
The
100%.
most
Doesn't
hated
matter
team in
how
football,
dominant
the
they
most
are.
hated
This
team in
year's our
hockey.
year. This year's our year.
yeah.
Never
Doesn't
your
matter
fucking year.
how good they
Oh,
are.
man.
I just anyways.
I can't wait to see Jesse in his Dallas Cowboys starter pack outfit.
Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders, by the way.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Does it come with
Pom-poms
pom-poms?
out, buddy.
All palms out. That's
I've
what
always
I've always
wondered what
said.
you look like in a denim skirt.
With your Daisy Dukes.
What are you doing this
man.
Sunday?
Yeah.
Are you back on the Dallas train now because you were a big Dak guy last year and you're loving Dallas? Are you back? Are you dem boys now again?
No, well, I respect the Cowboys. You have to this year. They're playing great football, but yeah, last year it was all fantasy. That's why I loved them. I had Dak, I had CD, and I had Ezekiel Elliott all on the same fucking fantasy league. So clearly, I'm cheering for them no matter what.
There you go.
This year, I'm all Lions and Bills this year. Those are the top two for sure. I'm restoring the roar. I'm joining you there, Brad.
Roar.
Yeah, and we're going with it.
All right. Let's go with the over then, and the Cowboys as well. Now, the matchup that we've all been waiting for. This is fucking bonkers at the way that this is all panned out. But the Rams are
The
plus
script
3.
writers are
Mwah, chef's kiss. Now, look, I think back to our Super Bowl that we won a few years back, and that's the thing
wedding
where it's just like this is
that the ring that comes in a case of beer? Or?
in my cornflakes. This look, this is a tried, tested, and true squad. Everyone had the Rams written off this year, myself included. But this team has shown incredible resilience over the past second half of the year. When healthy, they are hard to stop. Kyron Williams is the running back of the future for these guys. He's averaged more yards than Christian McCaffrey and Raheem Mostert this year. Crazy stat that I didn't even know was true until I looked it up. Stafford is going back home to play at Ford Field. This is his first time back. He will not be shook. Jared Goff has also been in big situations as well. First playoff game in Detroit. This is going to be a real tough one. But I just think that, these are former Super Bowl champions. They have tweaked their roster. They're looking good. They legitimately have a good shot at taking out the Lions. Dan Campbell's first playoff game as well. His over-aggressive nature could turn back to bite him in the ass. We all saw it against Dallas a couple weeks ago as well. So for me, I gotta have to go with the Rams. I mean, I won't be surprised if the Lions cover the spread here. It's really a tough game, but I'm gonna have to root for my Rams. I'm gonna root for a Kyron Williams touchdown. I'm gonna root for a Jahmyr Gibbs touchdown too. It's gonna be, honestly, this is such an incredible matchup, and I'm gonna be happy regardless of the outcome. I do want to see the Rams take it, obviously, but when the Lions win, who knows? I'm gonna be okay with it. That's my piece.
Yeah, I also think like Matt Stafford, I don't think he's like mad going into this, like he doesn't
No.
have that like chip on his shoulder. It's like, he wanted out
Because they
of it, right? Yeah.
mutually parted ways after all those years.
So that
and they gave
pressure
him what he wanted.
right? So when you go in there with a little bit more, when you're loosened up, I just think it's easier to play when you don't have that pressure.
There's not as much pressure. That's I think for him, and they're gonna play free and easy.
Champion, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, and I mean, just now, especially with the addition of Puka Nacua, that takes off so much pressure from Cooper Kupp as well. So I mean, look for him to look for them to overcover Puka and then forget about Cooper Kupp a little bit more. So it's that's something. Look at the receiving yards. It's going to be interesting. Look for some interceptions too on both sides. I feel like Stafford could throw a pick. Goff could throw a pick. Goff has been turning the ball over a bit more as of recently. So a lot of interesting props that is going to be thrown out. A lot of props on this one. Let's kick this over to Brad. I see you biting your tongue for a lot of
biting
this.
his tongue.
You're
I was supposed to about to say that. Holy.
No.
You're adjusting your spectacles.
No.
What you got, buddy?
Don't mistake it. Decades of being a Lions fan have taught me to be a real realist.
Yeah.
And I think that, Jesse, you're right. Stafford isn't coming into this with a chip on his shoulder. It's a bit of a revenge game, I would say, more for Goff than it is for Stafford. Stafford returning home is almost like a homecoming. I think it's actually going to play into his game, unfortunately. They're hot at the right time. I think that getting Puka Nacua, who is a total he's torching people in man coverage these past weeks. And then you have Cooper Kupp, who's a complete zone destroyer. These two guys spell disaster for a Lions secondary that has it seems like they've gotten figured out in the past few weeks. But what I do like, Kyron Williams, as good as he is, one of the major strengths of the Lions is our run defense. I think that it's going to be a huge thing. I think that the Lions also need to turn around. And I think that Dan Campbell, being as aggressive as he is, he's also a hard-nosed coach who's going to use Montgomery and Gibbs, and he's going to pound a not great Rams defense. They have been good coming down the stretch, but that's another team that hit a stride at the right time. I don't think that shows that they've completely taken care of everything that they need to take care of, and I think that that a hard-nosed style of offense is going to be the best thing to run against them. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be a difficult one to watch for me because like I said,
so much emotion.
I couldn't have been more happy to see Stafford go and find success with the Rams. I think that he gave almost too many good years to us, and that's me again being like, oh, how is this guy signing with us again that last time? And I fucking love the dude. He can do no wrong. If he wins tomorrow, or if he wins on Sunday against us, it won't be, I'll fucking hate the Rams forever, but Stafford's still good in my book. It's a difficult one. I'm gonna go Lions, and I'm gonna go. Obviously, I'm never gonna bet against the boys this year. It's a pinch me year for a Lions fan.
Mm-hmm.
We're a 12-win team, could have been more. It's gonna be a close one. There's a reason that the spread is set to
so tight.
3.5.
Yeah, 3.
It's go Lions.
Yeah. You have to. You can't bet against the boys here. I mean, I totally get it.
I won't.
I
would never even dream of betting on this game, but this is me saying Lions a hard nose, a fucking fourth down that goes the right way. I don't know how it's gonna play out, but it is. So
yeah,
roar.
So roar.
Bravo. That was well done, man. I agree with you. I mean, like for me, this is great. One of these teams is going to make it to the next round, and the Lions. I just feel like whenever a team gets their first, they've had a great season and they have their first reality check in playoffs. I mean, this Lions team is built for years to come, and they're going to be a regular in the playoffs. So I just think that the nerves of all of it might actually catch
it's the playoff scars too. I feel like teams need the playoff scars to advance
in order. Yeah. So
I will say no Sam Laporta. I didn't mention that. That was one of the notes that I had written down here. I mean, he's a rookie tight end, which really shouldn't it feels like a null and void point in most playoff matchups to bring up, but the guy has been integral this season for our first down conversions, and without him on the field, it's going to be a little more difficult to find what we need to find. And with Goff being a little more reckless with the ball, finding a lot of interceptions in zone coverage through the last 5-6 games of the season, that's going to be a difficult one. I'm interested. That's why I think they're going to have to go to the duo. They're going to have to go to Montgomery. They're going to have to go to Gibbs. Those guys are going to have heavy games, and if they can get their game going, I think it's and we still have the deep ball with Amon-Ra and Reynolds and whoever else we need to use downfield. We could make it difficult for the Rams, but I know they could make it difficult for us. So I'm just really interested to see how this ball game is going to play out. But
Joosten.
There's nothing more to say.
You go Lions or Rams.
Can you see that this was the game I really prepared for?
Oh, 100%. I think this is like you touched up on. This is going to be a difficult game to bet on. Like maybe the parlays or the player props maybe I'll hit, but I think this is just going to be a straight up bet between Josh and I on this one. Yeah, I think that's what we're going to have to do on this one. Because this could go either way. It's going to be tight. I like the results of both teams winning, I guess. I would like to see the Lions win, but you know what? Rams, they're secret beauties as well. Josh, you really kind of rubbed off on me over the years, I guess. You really warmed me out, maybe.
They got some, man, they're a fun team to watch. So
they are a fun team to watch. I do like their firepower. And you can't hate Stafford, so
no.
But I'm still going with the Lions. I'm going with you again there, Brad.
My guy.
But
you can't wear that tarp on the show and then go Rams. So
no, definitely not.
Oops.
The over-under set at 51.5. I'm going to go with the over on this because the Rams hit the under 47% of the time. Detroit leads all teams with hitting the under 35% of the time. So these are both squads that love to hit the over. So let's hammer 51.5. Like you said, it's going to be a real shootout between these two teams. It's going to be high score, and defense is not going to be as much of a thing, I don't think. So I think we're all safe to say over on that. Or does anybody want to say that the defense is going to lock down and take the under? Let's get a high scoring game with this one. How about that?
Yeah, how about it?
I like the under, but that's where I think that this game lies. Or sorry, I like the over, but I think where this game lies is in the defense. The defense, if we can stop the run game, if we can shut down Kyron Williams and force them to throw, I think that if they go over the top enough, our secondary will be able to figure it out. If they can shut down our hard hitting duo of running backs, then I think that if you force Stafford into third down conversion plays where he has to throw the ball, I think we're going to start seeing the wheels maybe come off a little bit in Detroit. So I think that's where this game's going to lie. But all of those things lead to more points, turnovers or big plays alike. So I like the over. I do. It's hard to bet against the over when you're betting Detroit, but.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Moving right along, final game. We'll wrap this one up quick here. We got the Eagles and the Buccaneers. Eagles are favored as the away team here. Really, it's the Buccaneers -3. Look, Eagles have been on a downward spiral as of late. I honestly think I don't think this is something that people aren't talking enough about, but I think that they threw last week's game. I think that they wanted to face the Buccaneers. Let's just leave it at that. It doesn't really matter. They got their asses handed to them by the Giants. I just don't think that they were just like, yeah, we know what we're gonna face. It's the Buccaneers. Let's just leave it as is. They lost a couple tough games. They haven't seen themselves, but I think that this should be. I can't believe it's -3 right now. I think the Eagles are going to show. They're gonna come back with a vengeance here. Anybody on the Bucks? I mean, apparently Baker Mayfield saw practicing with Zinn in his pocket. So I mean,
that's sick.
You know Baker way more than anyone else. So
what was that?
You know Baker way better than everyone else here.
Yeah, bro, he can't throw a fucking touchdown. He can't throw a touchdown. Like
I'm never washing this hand again.
Yeah,
that's your boy now.
Yo, Baker. No, I don't know. That's Buccaneers. They're goofs.
I'm with you, and I'm glad someone's talking about it. They definitely threw that game last week.
Yeah.
Just fucking throwing this out there. I mean, but hey, more power to them. They are exactly the opposite of the Rams. They're trending in the wrong, and the Bills. They're trending in the wrong direction right now. After being 10-0 to just this slide that we've seen, do I think they have the firepower? Do I think Jalen Hurts and the boys are going to show up and be the team that they're ready to be? I do. It's hard for me to believe that they're going to continue to play the way they've been playing to end the season out in the playoffs, but you know, I like a team with a chip on their shoulder. Tampa Bay is coming in with nothing to lose, and that can be a dangerous team. So I'm still going to take the Eagles on this one for sure. And with the spread being set at 3, I feel like you can lock that one in. That's a good one.
Yeah, I mean, we don't use that L word. We don't use the L word there. We never want to call it a lock, but you call it free money. No, it's the Eagles. The over under. I mean, the Eagles hit the under 47% of the time. Tampa Bay loves hitting the under at 64.7% of the time. So 43. This is kind of a pick 'em. It's tough. I mean, if the Eagles are going to stomp them, and Baker, I mean, he kept throwing at the game that we were covering in Carolina. He kept throwing it to Mike Evans. He was telegraphing his passes. Even the Panthers defense was able to shut him down, which, Panthers defense isn't all that bad. It's actually pretty good. I just think that he's a tough quarterback, but like he telegraphs his passes a lot. He gets predictable. I kind of see them, reeling a bit like they were mid-season when everyone's just like, geez, I don't know what's going on with Tampa. But they're hot and cold. I think that they're going into this a bit cold. They're not deserving to be there. This would be a much more interesting matchup if it was the New Orleans Saints. I thought that they deserved to be in this spot a bit more, but that's just the way the records shook out. So yeah, I mean, I'm taking the Eagles under, I'd say, if I had to pick. What about you guys? Jesse, you going Eagles? Both of you?
Yeah. I think I'm going Eagles. You have to at this point.
Yeah.
Like they got way too much firepower, and hopefully they were all saving it for the playoffs. I don't know what happened last week.
Yeah.
Don't know what the fuck that was. And your reasoning makes a lot more sense than them just getting blown out on a whim. So
yeah,
I'm going Eagles. I'm okay with the under on this one too. I was excited about the Eagles all season, and then now when it comes playoff time,
big asterisks.
it almost feels because they were 10-1 when they ended up beating the Bills in that real grind them out game, and then since then the Bills have caught fire and the Eagles have not. So at 10-1, they're just like, look, we're making the playoffs regardless. So who cares? Really,
Pass
it's
the
almost what it
torch.
felt like. So
Yeah.
A weight,
so bad,
a
though.
load management hits the NFL.
Yeah, for real. Bird, you like an Eagles too?
Once you get used to losing ways, it's really hard to shake it. So I don't know why you would do that. That just seems bizarre to me.
You're right.
But
We're speculating here.
Yeah, I know. But if it's not speculation and the slide is real, like, man, like an upset is definitely on the table, I think. Because like you said, Tampa's going in. It's like, they're playing with found money at this point.
Yeah.
They've got nothing to lose, right? So, I don't know. This one's interesting. I would stick with the under on this one.
Yeah, I definitely think so too. I think the Eagles defense is still great. So I mean, if they can figure out Tampa, which their offense isn't anything crazy,
exactly,
and like they
Mike Evans or Rashad White.
yeah, right. That's basically it. I mean, Godwin, if you find him open, but like that's it. I honestly think I think this one's an open shot. Might be the easier one of our picks here. And watch Tampa ends up fucking covering the spread or something like that. I don't know. Either way, those are our picks. Those are our the breakdown, our predictions, speculations, what have you. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Happy Super Wildcard Weekend. This is honestly one of the craziest times of year. Gotta love it. For Josh, Elijah, Birdman, Brad, Joosten, thank you guys so much for jumping on the show. Again, keep following along for all of our picks and upcoming coverage, as we're going to be heading down to Orlando next week to cover the Orlando Magic and Philadelphia 76ers game. More live coverage coming to you from the Sunshine State. Until then, talk to you guys later. Peace.
Cheers.